Well, I was thrilled after the Elimination Chamber. I thought the crowd responded great to the match. I was thrilled to come out still the World Heavyweight Champion after defeating 5 of SmackDown's top superstars. But the end at Santino, it really showed. A lot of times Santino gets cast as a comedy character, but what's underlying that whole thing is that the WWE Universe loves him, right? He's probably one of the fans' favorite people to watch, and so when you watch that match, you can see, and not that it very rarely happens, but you very rarely see it to that magnitude of people truly supporting this underdog character. Those people were living and breathing with Santino that night, and it was fun to be in the ring for. It was fun to crush everybody's spirits, and I think Santino. The sky's the limit for Santino. It all depends on what WWE wants to do with him.
Now, you're kind of the opposite right now, where the crowd is absolutely hating you. Take me back to a few weeks ago, before SmackDown, or during that SmackDown promo. What made you decide to use recycling and not eating meat and just being, an overall good person for the planet? How did you come up with the idea that was actually going to get you heat with the audience, that they were going to boo you for recycling? I thought that was, one of the most genius things I've ever seen in wrestling. How do you boo somebody for recycling? Maybe it's an American thing. I don't know.
Right. It's not, people aren't booing. It's interesting because people aren't booing recycling necessarily. They're booing the attitude you have towards being better than them because you recycle, and so, I don't know. The whole thing is, it's fun for me because it's so much a part of my real personality that I do all these things, I don't own a television. I do recycle. I am a vegan, all these things. And it's fun because I know a lot of vegan people who hate that people eat meat. You know what I mean? It really don't you dare eat meat in front of me. You know what I mean? And it's a very polarizing thing because on one end you don't killing animals for food, especially the way we treat animals in the United States who are factory farmed, pumped full of pesticides and steroids and all that kind of stuff, and then eaten. And then because of the way we treat the animals that are being eaten, our cancer rates have risen. I think we have one of the highest cancer rates in the entire world in the United States because of how poorly we treat a lot of the animals and even the plants that we eat and everything. And so it's a very it's the right thing kind of to say, but you can't, messing with people's food, man. People get angry.
Yeah, people get very angry. I know when, Michelle Obama was trying to get people to just eat healthier, people got very upset with her, which...
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you say I shouldn't eat Oreo cookies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Oreo cookies, interestingly enough, Oreo cookies are vegan. And you wouldn't think that because they've got supposedly what's a creamy center, but there is not an ounce of milk in that cream. That it's all synthetic.
Wow.
Something there's not any milk in there whatsoever. It's one of those things that they call accidentally vegan. It's vegan just because it's cheaper to make it out of synthetic products than it is actual milk. So.
Oh, wow. Does that mean you're eating Oreos?
No. I'm vegan for health reasons. Putting something like that in my mouth isn't gonna make me any healthier.
Now, let me ask you this. I had a vegan question for you. Now, I heard on Colt Cabana's podcast that you once shared a room or an apartment with Lyoto Machida, right?
Yes.
Now, Lyoto famously drinks his own urine in the morning. Can you do that as a vegan? And did you ever see Lyoto do that?
Okay, I've never seen it, and even when we roomed together, I never even heard of him talking about it. It just because I've heard that since, and it completely baffled me. But okay, technically, as really true vegans don't even eat honey because it's an animal byproduct. Right. They don't eat any animal products whatsoever. So I would assume that urine isn't, because it is an animal byproduct, that you can't, that you know, like it wouldn't be allowed under the vegan banner. But I'm not about to try anyways.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm not about to try anyways. So.
Now, I know you're a fan of MMA, and I saw on your Twitter, @DanielBryan, that you saw the Ronda Rousey fight. Now, of course, you named your finishing hold the LeBell Lock after Judo Jean LeBell, and Judo Jean was in Ronda's corner, and she delivered an armbar that would, I think, put Alberto Del Rio to shame. I mean, how big of an MMA fan are you, and how excited were you to see one of Judo Jean's students get a victory?
You know, I'm a huge MMA fan. I like watching it. I like training grappling and kickboxing and stuff like that. And it was really awesome because I met Judo Jean for the first time at Ronda Rousey's last fight. I got tickets to a Strikeforce fight there in Las Vegas, and he was cornering Ronda, and so I got to meet him after the show, and he was just the coolest, nicest dude, you know. But you watch Ronda Rousey fight, and oh my gosh, she is vicious. The night that I was watching the fight, she broke the chick's arm.
Yep.
Right? She broke it. Yeah. It was incredible. And that Miesha Tate fight, I mean, she looked. That was a great fight, and it was really cool to see. One, Miesha Tate get out of that first armbar, and two, like, to see how Ronda handled the strikes and stuff. You know, it was a really good technical fight. You know, like, that's not something where it's just two attractive chicks fighting. You know what I mean? It was two technically skilled, very tough women in a women's title fight, and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was just a great fight, and you saw two great grapplers get in there and end it with a submission. And you know, every time we see you in the ring, it's impossible to ignore the fact that you've got a submission grappling background. I mean, just the way you set up the LeBell Lock, kind of like from a guard position into an omoplata. I practice jiu-jitsu as well, and I just see little things that you do in the ring. And, you know, I definitely appreciate it, and it adds realism to what you do in that ring. Why do you think more people haven't, you know, done that, where it seems like maybe 10, 15 years ago, catch wrestling was more a part of pro wrestling, and now it's pretty rare, and you're one of the few guys that are still bringing that real grappling aspect to the sport?